welcome to the Swift Half, your weekly session of chat from the UKOCR and adventure running scene. Each week, pub landlord Alan and our favourite regular Ian discuss races, runners and anything else that comes to mind. So pull up a pew, pour yourself a drink and join us for the Swift Half.
Ian, welcome to the Swift Half, and it really is the Swift Half, this one.
It really is. So we've not got someone from fitness racing here. Nope.
No one fitness racing.
We are not sat in a really nice bar in Reigate, probably waiting for our beer that we ordered 10 minutes ago.
We're definitely not doing that at this moment in time, no. My beer's here and ready.
As is mine. So it really is a Swift Half.
Yeah. And we've got James Burton with us as well.
Hello, Alan. Hello, Ian. How are we doing?
Hi, James. How's the head?
Oh, I think I might have just recovered. I'm back to normal, James Burton. I'm on the tea again now. This is why I don't drink.
Yeah.
He jumped straight in there with telling us what he's drinking, Ian. That means we've got to go to drinking session now.
What, an actual session? This is only an hour recording. I can't do that.
Not another session.
I am on a Brewdog Hazy Jane tonight.
AF or proper one?
A real one, I believe. 4 points. Oh, no, 5%. Oh, they must have made it stronger.
I think we're converting you, Ian. I think we're now converting you into like drinking more often.
No, I'm running out of AF beer, actually. We've got a load of alcohol beer in the fridge, which a mixture of stuff we bought, a mixture of stuff people have sent us. So thank you, everyone who keeps sending us beer. But no, I probably need someone to come and help me drink it. So if anyone's interested, pop over, I guess. And maybe on a recording, maybe just randomly. Alan, what are you drinking?
Well, Mike Nolan, went to Nethergate Brewery and brought me beers at the weekend for the awards. So although we got beers, he brought me beers. From Nethergate Brewery, it's got a picture of a bulldog on it. It's amazing, and you know I love bulldogs. So while I'm with you guys, I'm drinking a Suffolk County 4%, which is a chestnut ale. And then, when you guys leave me and I'm editing, I got me another one for when I'm editing called Stour Valley Gold.
I'm glad you clarified, because as you were saying, when I'm with you guys and drinking this, I thought, is Alan going to another podcast after this? Has he got a job interview with the Joe Rogan, what's that show called? The Joe Rogan. Oh,
I don't know.
James, any idea?
I don't watch Joe Rogan.
I don't know. That's a Google question, isn't it?
Experience. The Joe Rogan
Bang.
Experience.
There we go.
Are we going to see the Muddy Duck Experience?
The Muddy Duck Experience happened on Saturday night when I was rather tipsy leaving the building.
This could go many ways.
Yeah, I didn't see you leave.
Exactly. I snuck out. Let's talk about the awards though here, because Ian, James kicked it off with the best blooper of the evening.
It was definitely the first blooper of the evening. we'll go with that. But yeah, and to be fair, I am putting this on us for not explaining to the host how your little envelopes worked.
To be fair, no. Alan did explain.
Okay.
Well, he did say there's a runner-up and he did say there's a winner. But I just got really excited, as people probably heard. I was just really excited to reveal the winner. And it was absolute tunnel vision. I did not see this huge black text that said winner, Nuclear Wild Forest. I saw the little bit of text that said fit Bobby Farm. Yeah. And thankfully, Lindsay and Karen, who were there, were very gracious. And Gavin messaged me in similar gracious terms. I think we got away with it.
Has he asked for half the award? Are you going to cut it in half and send him half?
No,
I know it was a bit of a bluff, but it set the evening so good. It was such a good evening. The laughter that was flowing, and just throughout. I mean, that set it. Someone came to me. I'm not going to name who it was, but someone everyone knows in OCR came up to me near the end of the evening and he went, "What you've put on here is so much fun. He says there's no hoity-toityness. There's no we're better than you, you're better than us. It's everyone just here to have fun and celebrate OCR. And that's what we set off to do. We wanted to just celebrate OCR, have a good evening. I think we hit it.
I think so. Go on.
I'd be minded to agree. One thing I want to mention, I mentioned this to a few people. Well, the three people who'd actually talked to me during the night. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm being my usual self. But I mentioned this to a few people. The best compliment we got, Alan, and I'm taking it as compliment, is someone said to me, "I only know 6 people in this room." And then someone else, completely unrelated to them, said, "I only know about 8 people in this room." And you set out to bring people from all walks of OCR together, and you did.
Yeah, without a doubt. And some of the tables were saying to me, they were sat with people they didn't know. So they'd booked a table for 4, and there were 4 others. So I sat them together, and they were saying it was so good to be sat on tables with potentially people they didn't know and be able to chat and that. I loved it. Wendy Williams never went though, did she?
She didn't. And it's an if you know, you know. But I suspect Jamie and Rob and Rob's daughter, whose name I can't forget, I bet you they would have loved to have been sat on a table with people they didn't know.
Not to be sat on my table. That cost me a fortune. That I gave them my debit card and said, whenever it's my round, get drinks in. I only had 5 drinks throughout the night. However, my debit card bill has come to like nearly £100. So I think I bought all 5 rounds for us.
To be fair, no, at 100, you probably bought 2 rounds.
It wasn't that expensive, was it?
It was all right, actually. Yeah, I think it was reasonable prices for just outside London, to be fair.
James, you don't get a vote. You pay £6 a pint anyway. you really don't. The only thing... So should we pick some nits, Alan, and then we can talk about some good stuff?
Yeah, go on.
I do not want pick one.
One nit for me was because I decided to go on spirits because I was smart and thought if I drink beer, it's going to end up badly. So I drunk spirits. They charged me, even though it was just a splash of lemonade, they charged me $2.20 every time I got Jack Daniels and lemonade for the lemonade.
Oh, now that is like London. That is London.
Yeah, it's
that
like,
is shocking.
It's like 50p up here if they charge you. Somebody just throw the mixer in anyway. And another nit, so that's a personal nit. What I wish I'd done, Alan, is I wish I'd kept my creme brulee because it might have set by now.
I thought creme brulees were meant to be soft underneath the top.
Soft, yes. Liquid, no. But other than that, it was as expected. We have to remember in the context, it was a 3-course meal that we didn't really pay a lot for in the grand scheme of things.
No.
And it was as expected. Some people got dry chicken, some people got undercut chicken. So combined, we got delicious chicken.
My chicken was great. And I had
mine was too, yeah.
Harry and Sophie's chicken as well because they didn't want to eat it. So I was very happy.
No, I will say the food was good. A lot better than I expected. I've been to places which do that, and yeah, it's been inedible. So it was a lot better. And by the end of the night, who cared?
True. I thought the service was good. I thought how they kept it flowing, didn't they? Or was it just me? But I mean, we was one of the last tables to be served, but it didn't seem like a long time since table 1 got served to our table. It just seemed to flow nicely.
No, and I think if you are in the area and you're planning an event, we can recommend the Reigate Manor because we were really well looked after. We jest about the prices a little bit and the creme brulee there, but we were really well looked after by them. In terms of organisation, Alan, when we were there, it was almost like the SAS, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the only downside is that they've tried to charge us for the room twice, but we've now sorted that out and they've rectified it. Did you know about this, James? I booked a room for Ian and they turned around and said, no, you can't have it because you're not called Alan.
Yeah, this is Yorkshire logic of when you're booking a room for someone that someone else has paid for, you're booking it in your own name.
Yeah.
I don't blame the hotel.
You're quite right. It was probably my fault. I'll take the blame for it.
They sorted it and they rang us up, and I appreciated that. So well done. But should we talk about the awards a little bit more?
Yeah, let's go into it. What was the highlight for you, James? I mean, you being part of British Obstacle Sport, got a fair few there today.
We did
this week.
Yeah, so I think the Junior Championships, British OCR Junior Championships, won Small Event of the Year, and it won Moment of the Year.
Yeah,
and for me, it certainly was the moment of 2022. So to see that other people reacted positively, it was a relatively small event. So I think it was people there, but also the people that outside of it that saw what was happening and what we're trying to do for junior athletes. So that was amazing. To get Community of the Year was incredibly kind of humbling, really, in terms of what we've been doing. I kind of see British Obstacle Sports as a community of communities, to be fair, but it's still great that acknowledgement has come through. And then, to be acknowledged from Contribution of the Year perspective as well. So it's a massive highlight for British Obstacle Sports and for me personally, of all the work that's been going into it from everyone. It's massive effort from a lot of people, and we're starting to bear fruits. I think everyone's seeing that we're in it for the right reasons. We want to grow the sport. We want to bring people together, and we want to just continue to help OCR to be as awesome it is already. So yeah, it was great. And it was all amazing. Like the award, it was just a really nice evening. Like everyone that won, very deserving.
What did you think when Contribution came up though, and then you got runner up? Did you think it wasn't going to be Boss? Did you think it was, or was you thinking, that was?
Actually, at the time, I'd forgotten that British Obstacle Sports had been nominated. So I was like, I was very, very happy to come second. So thank you for everyone that voted for me personally. And then, it was like, amazing. Because I thought
that was brilliant. Because to me, that brought forward exactly how much you and British Obstacle Sports have come along in the last 18 months, you know. And I know you were in there before 18 months, but in the last 18 months, you've really shone. You really have. And the whole community is behind you. It's little things like coming on here, chatting to us, going out, reaching people. And that's why we're always happy to work with you guys, because we see the future. You know, Ian's got a crystal ball up in where he is. Regularly looks at it and tells me what's happening. So yeah, we see that.
Well, I think hopefully people have seen we've gone about it the right way, and that's why it was a bit of a slow start, because we were having to lay those foundations, get the constitution right, get those things that protect the sport as well. So I think we've talked about before, like we've got certain things in our constitution that stops any one person trying to take control or things being done for the wrong reasons. So that is such an important part now that that's in place. It allows us then to focus on some of the fun stuff, like supporting you guys with the awards and the series, working with Scottish OCR to their series, Ninja Sport UK, and hopefully many more things like that. And I think the more volunteers that are getting involved and picking up different areas, the more we're going to have to do as well.
Definitely. Ian, have you got the results up? Are we going to go through them all, or
what the results for the awards?
Yeah.
Should I check UKOCR? I'm sure they'll be on the website. Oh wait, no, we've not put them up yet.
I'm not going up yet.
I think we should. I think we should celebrate the winners and runners up for sure.
Yeah,
I think we should as well.
Are you pulling them up?
Yeah, I'm going to load them up right now.
Okay. Well, you're doing that. Shall I go through some of my personal highlights?
Yes.
Yeah, for me, a personal highlight was actually meeting so many people who I'd never met before, because I'm a northerner who doesn't travel that often. Yeah, I was. What's the opposite of a nosebleed? When you head, because people call me up north get nosebleeds. I'm not sure what you do when you head down south, but it was a long trip. But I was really happy to have made it, because I just got to chat with people that I've either never met or I've only met a couple of times. Yeah, I met your good wife, Harsha, James. That was a personal highlight, and not least because she's a fellow northerner.
Indeed.
And we found out that we knew, well, obviously we know a lot of the same places, because she grew up where I worked for a long time.
I think everyone there that meets you now with your podcast as well, just because they hear your voice so much. It's always funny, like meeting the real Ian Kay and the real Alan Moore.
Well, I wasn't convinced anyone would know us because most people listen to us at 1.5 speed. So, given I talk fast anyway, I was a bit worried. Another highlight was towards the end of the night when Harsha decided to make it her mission to get everyone on the dance floor. And
yes, I got roped into that.
Yeah, and you can't really argue with your wife. Sorry, James.
No.
I mean, yeah,
I'll try.
I think I just about managed to avoid her, but honestly, having done any kinds of manhunts and those kind of things, Harsha was harder to avoid than anyone like that. And it was so nice, like you say, Alan, to just see so many people happy meeting people for the first time.
Yeah, I loved it. I've got to admit, I came away with a bit of a sense of achievement that we'd put it on. We'd put it on, and there were a few hiccups. We're not going to say there wasn't, and we've got a feedback form out there. So listeners, go fill that feedback form and tell us what you liked. But I came away with a huge sense of achievement of what we put on, how many people we brought together, how many people walked away happy. And I'm hoping the feedback form says that as well, because if it doesn't, we can go better next time. So, yeah.
Oh, I got some feedback, actually. Well, a couple of feedback, Alan. On the night, when I went back to the DJ to hand him back the mics, I don't know, we might tell that story, we might not have. Well, tell it quickly. Basically, listener, we went through about 5, 6, 7, 8 mics trying to set up the show. So if you're wondering why in the end the sound was coming from the DJ booth, that's why, because we had to pull in the DJ early to steal his mics, because the 5 that were supplied by the hotel just weren't working at all.
Just couldn't pick up the connection, could they? And then they were talking over each other.
Yeah, and people can listen to the podcast to listen to us talk over each other. Don't need it in real life, but when I handed back the microphones to the DJ, I could see he'd actually been laughing.
Yeah.
And for someone who had no clue what on earth we were doing, that is kind of nice. And that is probably shared. It wasn't me or Alan. That's shared glee at everyone reacting and everyone being happy in that. And you could tell he was having a great time. The other feedback, Alan, was when I got a phone call about the hotel room. I thanked them. I said, doing a great job, and maybe we might see him in the future. And they actually said, "Oh, fantastic! We'd love to have you here again. We love seeing everyone coming in covered with mud, but you're all fantastic. So thank you for coming."
Yeah, they said the same to me, that apparently they were all cute when people going back after nuts. They were all covered in mud, and they've never had people turning up to the hotel covered in mud before to check in. That's gonna be such a funny thing.
It was quite bad for some of the people. Like John Redmond came and had a shower in my room, and he had just like literally mud all through his hair, completely covered. Yeah.
Classic.
That we're going to talk about some of the people that got nominated and won awards, so maybe I won't go into it, but yeah, some of the rounds of applause that for some of the people that won was quite a highlight for me as well.
Oh, definitely,
because it was so justified. Yeah.
Let's go through them in order. So, training facility of the year, we touched on that one. Nuclear Wild Forest won with Fit Body Farm in second place, which was good. Small event of the year, I was quite pleased on this one. Overload got a runner-up, which I'm quite pleased with. And how could we not? We had to lose the best event of the year in my eyes last year, the British OCR Junior Championships. Absolutely amazing. And I think that was the first time we actually got a huge round of applause. And I'm not saying Nuclear Wild Forest didn't get a round of applause, but the moment that was won, the room erupted, didn't it? It
did. I think we've got to work hard this year to beat that and get more kids involved. I'm very, very excited to what we can do this year now. Yeah, without a doubt. Large event of the year, which was sponsored by OCR Unlimited. Runner-up, Tough Mudder. Did you like that one, Ian? Did you like runner-up to being Tough Mudder? Yeah, it was one of them, but we kind of expected either Spartan or Tough Mudder to be there or thereabouts. So, and it's also a sign. People have... I'll touch on it briefly now, Alan.
people have asked about rewards and the voting process, and it is a site. It's not a popularity contest, but tip, if you do wish to win an award, mobilise your base. And I think that's what we saw with Tough Mudder, because we had a lot of Tough Mudder legionnaires who were mobilised because they are an avid community, and they voted in the hundreds for Tough Mudder. And I could tell that had happened because a lot of the other ones had been ticked none of the above.
Yeah.
So they'd obviously gone on specially to vote for Tough Mudder, which I have no issue with. We've set it up so you can vote for as many or as little awards as you can, and I prefer it. If you don't know what the small event is, don't vote for it. Vote none of the above. Speaking of which, none of the above won most, just so you know.
Can you imagine? None of the above.
None of the above. But yeah, they voted in the hundreds, but they didn't quite do enough, did they, Alan? What won?
No, nuclear racers. And we usually talked about mobilising people. Nuclear racers did that. They shared lots of our awards. They sponsored a few of them. So, well done to nuclear racers. Who did we have next up? OCR Community of the Year, which was quite a big one, which was sponsored by UCAN Energy. I thought the runners-up would have won this. So I'm going to turn around and say, I'm going to put my neck on that. I thought Scottish OCR would have won this. I thought the way they've come forward this year, they were right in with a chance. But James with British Obstacle Sports, it goes to show, doesn't it? You put your name out there on a regular basis, you're going to get the votes, and you definitely did.
Yeah, I actually agree with you, Alan, on that. I really see British Obstacle Sports as a community of communities, and it's amazing to get the acknowledgement. But what Scottish OCR have done is really impressive. They've got really strong volunteer admins that are pushing a lot of content out. They're helping to get events up in Tough Mudder Scotland wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for that Scottish OCR community. So yeah, really, really impressed, and they're definitely very worthy runners up, and pushed British Obstacle Sports very close.
Yeah, and a lot of any of them could have won. I mean, the thing is, it was that close, that voting. I think, Ian, wasn't it?
In places, it was incredibly close, and I think unlike last year, this was the first year we had to use the tiebreaker. So for those of you who don't know, if it goes 50-50 people vote and the popular vote, we do it that way to avoid it becoming a complete popularity contest, but being popular helps. And the tiebreaker is that the popular vote takes precedence. So if someone tops the panel and someone tops the popular vote, and then they switch, so 1 second in the other one, vice versa, whoever won the popular vote wins. And this year, it did come down. You know what? I'll let you in on a little secret, James. You're the first one other than Alan to know this. At least one of the awards, I'm not going to say which one it was, came down to I think a couple of votes. It was literally, and that got won on a tiebreaker, and it came down to a couple of votes. So if people are thinking, I don't vote because it doesn't matter, it really did matter.
It's the age-old thing, isn't it? Your vote counts.
Yeah, definitely. Next one up, best bit of bling. So all the best medals out there. And we were lucky enough to actually have the medal that won on display, which I thought was a bit special. That I don't know about you guys, but to actually have the medal that won to show people what the votes are for was nuclear races, and it's 3 pieces that fit together. Huge medal. I think Jamie, who got on stage from Overload Runs, he said it was like super heavy when he was lifting it up.
Can I just say, did you just stitch up your mate though? Because everyone else got a piece of paper, and Jamie, your core RD had to wrestle with this hunk of metal, a very nice hunk of metal, but he had to mess around with it, trying to figure out. The thing is, you didn't even tell him who'd won, so he could just announce it. You proper stitched him up.
What else could I do?
Carry on.
Best alternative event. Oh, sorry, James.
Who was runner-up? Who was runner-up on best bling?
Spartan Racers.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Alternative event of the year. Runner-up was a new event, OCR Games. So good shout there, OCR Games. And
Fantastic
the winner
event. August 20th this year for those who are interested. Definitely worth doing.
Definitely, yeah. And the only award that actually went 2 years in a row to the same people, Hyrox won it again. 2 years in a row.
Yeah, High Rocks did well, but it was a lot closer this time when I was tying up the votes and going forward, because during the awards, I only see the popular votes. I'm not sure how the panel is, but I can get a feel. And High Rocks didn't have it its own way like last year. They just ran away with it. This year, the OCR Games and a couple others, it was neck and neck in places, Alan.
Yeah. And I think you mentioned Turf Games got quite a few votes, and that's one that's proper underground in terms of from the OCR community, isn't it?
Turf Games surprised me. It really did. One, I was actually quite surprised it got nominated, but I'm going to put that down to our good panel for spotting, because it should have been on the list. But me and Alan, we don't really put forward anything. We let the panel do what the panel does. So I was surprised, and then it really earned its nomination because it did really well.
Yeah. Next up, Obstacle of the Year, sponsored by Towergate Insurance. Great to have a sponsor there that isn't necessarily a race or a company that's necessarily selling something. It's an insurance company. They support British obstacle sports, so really good of them. Nick Sullivan came along from them, and the winner of that, well, it was a double header for them. So runner-up was Nuclear Zip Lines, and I think well-deserved winner, Nuclear Death Slide. It's got to be. It's right up there. Every year it wins, didn't it?
It won last year, didn't it? I voted for the zip line, actually. I think it's underrated obstacle and zip lines.
Yeah.
Well,
James,
clearly not underrated because it came second. But...
Yeah. James, did you speak to Nick from Terror Insurance during it or after the event at all?
Briefly. Not after yet, though. But no. Why?
No, I'm just checking that all our insurance haven't been cancelled and he actually did have a good time.
No, I think he did. He's been messaging me this week. Yeah.
That's good, because obviously sometimes if you're not within the community can be just different in a good way.
Yeah, but to be fair, you may not have known Nick, but he is a fantastic partner because he is an avid obstacle racer as well. And more goes beyond in terms of the stuff that he's been doing for British obstacle sports and events and things because he's a big fan. So I think I'm sure he had a good night. He did bring a colleague though, so the colleague's probably the person to ask.
Yeah. Let's again. Actually, we did have quite a few people who were within the OCR community. How did Rob's daughter? Did she enjoy it, Alan?
Well, Rob's daughter, she'd done her first OCR, which she went straight in. The very first OCR she'd ever done, she went down to nuts, did one lap of nuts. Yeah, I said exactly the same, James. What a jump straight in the deep end.
Oh, literally.
Yeah, so she won, and she loved doing nuts. She really enjoyed it, and she enjoyed the awards, even though the awards wasn't necessarily her scene. She did enjoy them. She said it was good. It was good to see people laughing, joking, smiling, and that. I don't think she could let her hair down because her dad were there, But hey-o.
Does Rob listen to this show at all?
Mm-mm.
No.
Oh,
Rob doesn't do podcasts.
Awesome. Next year, don't invite Rob. Invite Rob's daughter. Just kidding. Oh, come on. She should have a chance to enjoy herself amongst her peers.
Of course you should. Next up, let's get crowned outstanding moment of the year for 2022. Mark Dixon, double world champion, runner-up, but just pipped to the post by British OCR Junior Championships. Another close one there.
I can tell why, because amazing achievement from Mark.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't beat kids, right? So the age-old.
That's it, isn't it? Kids and animals. Never worked with kids and animals, and Mark made that mistake there with kids.
Yeah, you can't beat them. You probably shouldn't beat them.
You probably shouldn't, indeed.
That's not that. Outstanding contribution to OCR. We was up for this one, Ian. Gladly we didn't win.
Yeah, can I just say, talking of stitch-ups, so you stitched up Jamie, and we may have stitched up the host of this one, poor Mr. Nolan. Everyone else, listener, got a list of the nominations. Mike got a list of the nominations plus why they've been nominated, which for some was a little paragraph. And well done, Mike. You read it all. You really did. And you made it interesting and that, because it was very informative, but sometimes when you're reading stuff like that, it can get really dull really quickly. So, Mike, thank you for that.
Yes. And as we touched on, runner-up Mr. James Burton, and winner British Obstacle Sports. Another double winner. That's a double winner for you, that, James. It's got to be onto. So, Volunteer of the Year. This was won by Lindsay McEwen, with Wayne Grumpy King coming in second. So we talk about Scottish OCR. Lindsay there, going out, doing a lot of volunteering, not just at OCR, but she's doing a lot of volunteering.
Yeah, I was so
throughout.
pleased. Like, Wayne is an incredible volunteer as well. But in terms of what Lindsay's been doing, certainly this year as well, in terms of everything she's been doing for British Obstacle Sports, she's on several committees. She also helps with Scottish OCR community group, and she's a technical official. Yeah, so many things. So she is such a worthy winner, and such an awesome person as well, which we'll get to in a little bit, and was one of the other awards.
Yes. Next up, we had Will crying on the next one. So we had a separate award for the Inspiration Award. So someone who had inspired our panel in 2022, and it went to Leon Hardwick, who is battling terminal cancer and battling it well.
Yeah. I was saving this as well when I mentioned highlights. This was a personal highlight. You know what really pulled on my heartstrings? I'm glad he took a bit of time up there, because I don't think I could have started talking again, Alan. I think you were the same. I looked over and you were choking up. We know from the room, because we know who was there, not everyone knows Leon, because he is very much Tough Mudder. He doesn't really, he does attend events, but he keeps himself to himself in at times. Well, within his own friendship group. So there were so many people who perhaps didn't know his story, and they're all touched by it.
This was we talked about ovations. This was a standing ovation. This was the first standing. There's only 2 standing ovations. Well, 3 throughout the night. Sorry, there was this one, and then there was the junior and the OCR Personality of the Year. But Leon, to get a standing ovation in a crowd that didn't know him was phenomenal.
I think what added to that was Will's introduction and giving the award, because you could see the genuine love and care in terms of what Will was saying, and that kind of, I think, carried through into anyone that didn't know Leon. Because I certainly felt I've obviously heard the story, but I introduced myself to Leon later because I didn't know him. But it was a very touching moment for sure.
Yeah, we did everything to try and get him there without telling him. I think we was at a point where we was going to actually offer to buy him a ticket. It was that close. Next up, we had the outstanding contribution. So we wanted to recognise a few people, didn't we, Ian? And our panel did, for their outstanding contribution to junior development. And we gave 3 ceramic medals away for people. Dave Peters, Sean Wilde, and Mark Logan, for everything they've done for junior development in 2022. I think we'll keep that going, and anyone who really stands out to us here, and every year we'll do that while we're presenting it.
Yeah, maybe we should have a name for it. Some kind of name for the junior development. So if anyone's got any ideas, shoot us a message.
Yeah, I like that. And then we got down to the nitty-gritty ones, the ones that everyone. One was interested. Well, there was interest in them all, but the 2 big ones, which was OCR Young Personality of the Year, sponsored by Nuclear Wild Forest. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 people on that list. That's quite a big list of names.
Yeah, and we should reiterate to a viewer what we said about 3 or 4 months ago. Everyone who got a nomination on this, we put on the ballot because we felt it was fair for young people to have the opportunity to be on that ballot and get votes and get recognition.
Without a doubt. And runner-up, Amelia Solomon. I don't know Amelia. Do you know Amelia, James?
Yeah. So Amelia trains down at Obstacle Play Park. So she's trained by Mark Logan. Sarah and Ian, her parents, are very involved in OCR as well. And races, junior championships she raced. I think she was 4th or 5th in the junior championships. Spartan, she races regularly. I think she was on the podium at Spartan, but also just a lovely girl and great ambassador for the sport as well. So it's fantastic for her to be recognised there.
Yes. And then the winner, as she got up on stage in her red dress and high heels, you would never have known she was a junior. Libby Joyce. Amazing.
Another amazing ambassador.
Yeah,
And standing ovation again.
standing ovation, well deserved. We know she didn't think she was gonna win. I know most award winners will say that, but yeah, she genuinely had no idea, and it was a really touching moment.
And
It
her mum
was.
had a little tear in her eye at the back.
Although I actually thought she did know, because I thought she was sat at the back. I was like, oh, she's got up immediately. She must have. But then I realised she was sat on the obstacle mud runner magazine table. I don't know.
Yeah. Although, Alan, I will say, with the benefit of hindsight, we probably should have moved her mum closer to the stage.
Well, no, because Libby wanted to sit with Obstacle Mud Runner magazine, and her mum was sitting with us. So
Yeah, but what I mean was, you know, she didn't have to sit on the same table, but it would have been nicer. There was plenty of photos. It doesn't matter.
yeah, there was. Yeah. So, and then personality of the year, another big one. We had, I think, 9 people, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 people in this. This was really close as well, wasn't it? In the results on this one.
This changed so many times up until the end in the popular vote. It was unbelievable, and yeah, it was incredibly close, and it might have surprised a few people, but it didn't really surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
No, I thought I did think maybe someone else might have been up there in the top 2. I'll be honest and say I could have picked 3, but these 2 and maybe one other, I would have said it would have been out of those 3. The runner-up being Wendy Brothers, and the winner. And I want to stress that someone said to me on the night, it's not like sports personality. These people don't have to be sports people to win. So Wendy Brothers, she's an athlete. You know, just she might not be an A-level athlete, an elite level athlete, but she's still an athlete, and so is the winner. And that's what it's all about, celebrating that personality and what they do. And the winner was Lindsay McEwen. Again, so much she's done, everything for the sport. It wasn't just because she does high rocks, she does OCR. You know, it was everything in one. You know, the volunteering, the running the Scottish OCR group, the being involved in everything that's happening at this moment in time. Her name pops up so often.
I think you wrote it in the voting process for the personality year. It's the person that embodies what OCR is and is an ambassador for OCR. And I think Wendy probably got certainly the biggest cheer for a runner-up on the night.
Yeah,
you could see that in the room, and she absolutely embraces with her courage, her determination, and just her care as well for the community. And it's similar with Lindsay as well in terms of what she does for the sport, and you can see how much kind of respect everyone has for her.
Yeah, and again, Alan, going back to the voting somewhat, a lot of the more popular ones, because again, it went here, there, and everywhere, were people I knew more for what they've done for the sport, not related to racing, than their racing ability. If that makes any sense. They're still good racers, because everyone on that list other than you, Alan, is a good racer. So they're still good racers. I'm sorry.
I think you'll find that James Parrish called me an athlete several times on the night.
He did. He obviously heard about you winning Wolf Run that one time in 2009 or whenever it
19
was.
Something or other, not 20.
yeah. When Wolf Run was still 50 years from being formed, but you ran around the venue and took first. But anyway, but the people who were up towards the top were known more, which makes me happy, because it means people have embraced the instructions, which was to vote for the embodiment of OCR, not just other things. If that makes sense. Everyone was well rounded except you, Alan.
I'm just round.
Yeah. Right. I think, Alan, I'm not sure if you want to go back to your awards, but can we pause for a second, because we know that our good friend James has to run in a bit, and we would love to drill him on some nut stuff while he's here.
We have, but there's one more thing I want to do.
Okay.
We never gave away £100 on the night.
Well, you did.
Well, I did. But no, I promised to give £100 away to a charity, and it was going to be the winner. So I put a post out this morning asking all the winners to contact me. I got 9 people contact me. Yeah, I've got a list of the votes. So I have got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 people who would like to give £100 to British Obstacle Sports Junior Development. I have got 3 people that have asked me to give it to Leon's Cancer Charity, and I have got Louise Ferryman who has asked me to give it to, and I need to go into my phone to look at this, Ian, he says. Alan, please find it quickly. Dr. Frank Mussai's Childhood Cancer Research at the University of Birmingham. So I've wrote numbers 1 to 9 down the side of different ones, and I've mixed them up. So I haven't put like 1 to 5 boss and everything else. I'm going to ask James to pick a number, yeah? And then I will show you guys on the screen and you can tell me who's won. So James, 1 to 9.
Maybe Ian should say a number because we've got the junior champs. Obviously, I want them to win. But...
Well, none of you know what it is, so I don't mind.
No.
Ian, you give me a number.
Let's go 3.
3. Can you see? That's...
No, I can't see, actually.
No.
You're going to have to announce.
It says Leon. So 1 and 2 were boss, 3 Leon, 4, 5 were boss, 6 was Leon, 7 boss, 8 Leon, and 9 was Louise. So I've got a piece of paper. So that will go onto Leon's charity. So thank you to everyone who did that and contacted me. Yes.
Good reminder.
That was a fair way of doing it. Yeah. That
Good
was a fair way of
reminder
doing
on prizes. I have a list of names in this tub.
Yeah.
And this is for people that did 4 races in the UKOCR series.
Oh yeah.
And not Nuclear Phoenix athletes because they came first and we came first and won my zone prizes, and none of the other athletes that came first masters. So I can't get you to pick a number because I'm going to do it. But as God is my witness, as they say.
Yes.
I have a ticket, and it's like, as God is my witness, I did not fix this, but it's Gavin Hogarth.
So, Gavin Hogarth, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he'll be my
Gavin's
friend now,
won.
but...
Is that a my zone he's won?
He is one of my zone. Yes.
Awesome. We're giving prizes away left, right, and centre.
I'll ensure that goes to someone going up to Scotland for Tartan Warriors.
Fantastic. Ian, what are you giving away?
Come on.
Just my good humour. Yeah, but
A meal with Ian.
Oh gosh,
Meal
no.
with Ian.
That'd be, actually, we could do like a reverse auction of that. If we nominate 10 people and whoever gives the least amount of money has to go on a meal with me. That would raise so much money for all them good things. Right.
Let's talk nuts.
Let's talk nuts. And
I do have about 10 minutes as well, so let's definitely talk nuts.
Okay. I'm going to tag out a little bit because I wasn't involved, so I'll let you and James and Alan take the floor.
Let's talk about nuts, James, because I was down there. It didn't look as cold as what it has been in the past.
It definitely wasn't as cold. Saying that, my first lap was very, very cold still.
Zero neoprene?
On my first lap, I didn't have any neoprene. Yeah. Which I normally do, to be honest. First lap, and that's why I tend to do only one lap. I just get myself round. But when you got in the water, it was cold. And yeah, my feet were freezing. My hands were starting to freeze. Other parts of my body felt very, very cold as a man, I have to say. Or maybe I wasn't a man at the time, I don't know. I have to say also that putting on a wetsuit for the second, third and fourth lap was probably the best thing I've ever done in my life, because I felt very, very toasty and probably felt a bit like I was cheating because I just felt very warm. But yeah, it wasn't as cold. It was a very mild winter nuts. I've probably done about 7 or 8 winter nuts, mostly one lap, to be fair. But yeah.
You think that was down to zero wind? Because everyone talked to me, they all were saying running around that back end of that back field that takes you down to where the slide used to be and coming back up, there was no wind over them fields.
There was still a little bit of a wind, but I think it was just the overall temperature in the lead up. It was kind of 5 to 10 degrees, wasn't it? The temperature.
Yeah, it felt mild.
I've done nuts when you're breaking ice as you're going around and there's snow on the ground. So I think we had a bit of luck because
definitely had a bit of luck with the way the weather's forecasted for this week.
Yeah. And but fantastic course, I have to say. I always love nuts course. I love the trenches and going in and out the stream and everything like that. And they added a few more obstacles this year, so I had loads of fun going around, I have to say.
What did you think of the new obstacles? The swing ladder that went to they went up the ladder and did the high monkey bars, or you swung from ladder to ladder and then the monkey bars got lower. What did you think to that?
I really liked that. It was good because you could go through it a bit quicker if you knew the technique. So I could swing from a ladder to the ladder, so I didn't have to go up and across.
Yeah.
And then, I enjoyed that. And I was trying to think what else there was new. I think that for a few people who haven't been for a couple of years, there's lots new there in terms of the big rigs and things like that in the technical area.
Yeah, for someone like me who's not been for 2 years, they've taken all that middle section out, haven't they? You know what?
Yeah.
I always remember seeing videos of John Alban and Conor Hancock going through that really deep mud.
Commando section.
Yeah, the commando section. I don't know. I didn't run it, so I'm not going to really comment on it. And I did hear mixed feelings on the day to people who had not been for a while. 2 people told me they missed it. Other people said, like, you know, they're glad it wasn't there and it was a little bit more of a technical run, if they like.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I did love the commando section. It is a shame, but I think it was just a case of they had to get trucks in for the what's it called, ash dieback. Some of the trees had to get cut down, so they had to get trucks in to remove the trees, and then that section had to go. So hopefully one day they can rebuild something like that, because it was a lot of fun. But there was so much else there. You know, you really are. I was so on my second, third, and fourth lap. I really started to drain my energy just because you're constantly pulling yourself and hanging on things. So first lap was fine, but as I was getting, I on my third lap, I think it was, I was struggling on just a rope traverse because I had no grip in my arms. And I was like, there's a video of me just hanging at the end because I literally can't pull my weight just to hit the bell because my grip's gone. So it just shows that kind of grip endurance and energy demand by doing those multiple laps.
Yeah. Jamie said to me he liked the river section, how they'd gone in and sort of tidied the bankings up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So there weren't as many grooves as you were getting in. He said before he felt like there was a lot of deep grooves, and when you were trying to get into the water 2 years ago, it was a little bit more difficult. Now they've tidied the bankings up, made them a little bit smoother. He felt it was a little bit. He felt it was better. He felt it was safer getting in the water, if he's honest.
Yeah,
is how he put it.
Yeah, so. I think there is. I think a lot of that's just happened over time, because the sheer amount of people that have gone through it as well.
Yeah.
They didn't have the slide in. I think that's maybe probably a blessing in the winter. But
I had heard the water level was very low on it, so they decided it wasn't safe to go down. It was less than 4 foot deep, so fair play to him taking it out. You know what I mean? If something's not safe, it has to be taken out, doesn't it? So, but
I really encourage people to get to Summer Nuts. So it's the series race. 1 lap's a series race. So if you just want to go for more laps, there's the 3K. And so if you want it technical, you can go and do the 3K on April 23rd as well at Nuts for the national trials, because it is a really, really good course, fixed course. And something I'm very lucky because I'm 45 minutes away, so I get to do it quite a bit. It's like my local race, really.
Am I right in thinking Summer Nuts is actually in September?
Yes, September 2nd, I believe.
Yes, I guess it's close enough to summer to count. Yeah. Just about.
When you compare it to winter nuts, it's a warm bath when you're in the lake. It's
actually, James, I don't know if you listen to the show, but a friend of both of ours is currently subject to be coming down there. You met him at Savage Race over in Georgia.
Okay. Yeah.
Our good friend Nick Bowerman, he's apparently going to come and do 4 laps. So he'll be happy to know if you're doing 1 lap that you can't keep him off the podium this time.
That's it. Oh, nice. I'm glad someone's coming over to do it. It'd be interesting to see his reaction to Nuts. It's definitely a British event.
Yeah, that's what he wanted to do, a British event, and it was either Nuts or Nuclear. But unfortunately, around the time he's coming over, Nuclear is just doing the 5K event, so it wouldn't be the proper Nuclear feel. So I think that's why he's ended up doing Nuts, which unfortunately you can just go to the events which are happening when you're here.
Yeah. You can only do so many as well, right? So no, that's great.
I think you're quite right. I think if there was an award for the most British event, that would definitely go to Nuts, wouldn't it? I think it would. Just because of all the, it's just
tough question, but yeah, it is.
It's
James can't answer.
Gritty and it's just so gritty and so down to earth, and it would, to me, it's there's nothing at Nuts apart from the new rig that went down. There was nothing at Nuts that's shiny. You know what I mean? There's nothing there at Nuts that says, hey, this is man-made. It looks like everything is virtually natural and just plonked in a field, and you do it and get over it.
So you're saying that Nuts is Tough Guy if Tough Guy had not had kept evolving?
Yes, yeah. Yeah. Nuts is like tough guy. Nuts is to me. It is to me a tough. It is the toughest race for me currently in the UK.
Yeah. So like tough guy, if it kept evolving and it had someone with more business sense in terms of how to keep it going, how to keep making money out of it.
Yes.
Perfect.
Shall we go to some results?
Yes, let's do that because I have no clue. Alan?
James, do you want to go through them or do you want me to go through them? Because I know they're not 100% right, so maybe what I say is going to be wrong.
Well, I think you know the 7K results, don't you? Because you
I think I got the 7K right.
Go on, you go for that, and then I'll see what I can do with the rest.
So I've got Becky Neal 1. Yeah. Now I thought in second place was Karen McQuarrie.
Correct.
Okay. And then in third place was Shelley Tompkins.
That's right.
Fantastic. I'm good with that one. Men, Morgan Maxwell, running phenomenal. He was so quick.
Yeah.
Second place, Darren Martin, and third place, Kenny Sams.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Big commiserations to Mr. Buchanan there as well, because he was in third place until he had an accident and slipped and fell and hurt himself, and in the nicest possible way threw his teddy out and because he couldn't walk.
He's okay though. I think he just
was
fine.
Yeah, he's fine. He
wasn't
hurt
like
himself, but he's back. Yeah.
There was another race that's worth calling out. Actually, Samson Clark, I think his name is. So he's quite a young athlete. He may only be like 19, 20. He's moved back here from Spain. British guy, but was in Spain out in Malaga and was training at Mike's gym. He went out as one of the early pace setters, and I think he only got taken over towards the end of the race, certainly by second and third.
Kenny Sams beat him on the ladder.
Yeah,
the long ladder. Kenny took third because he overtook both of them there. He overtook, which was currently third, which was who just said.
So looking forward to. I think he's going to be doing more races in the UK. So looking forward to what he does. Always great to see a new racer, and the top three male and females qualified for the British OCR Championships as well. So hopefully they're going to get themselves signed up and join Kate and Russell on the start line.
Yes,
all starting to take shape. Yes,
yeah. People qualifying. 14K. Louise Ferryman took the win for the ladies. Good to see Louise back.
Yeah, I think this is where it gets a bit. Well, one thing we will be doing, because it was a European Championship qualifier, we'll be getting the band results, because Nuts had a system where there were 4 mandatory obstacles. So only the people that completed those obstacles would be effectively a competitive finisher. And I know Chris Shipley came first, although he's not listed currently. So I think in terms of the full results, we can post those out and share those with you when we get them from Nuts. They're just waiting from the systems, the timing systems.
So we'll just mention the winners, because we're not 100% certain, are we? Because we know Louise Ferryman won it without a doubt, and we know Chris won it without a doubt.
Not sure who did 3 laps. I know I won 4. So I'm gonna claim the win. Definitely finish with 4 bands. And
we will, of course, wait for confirmation of this.
Okay, yeah, let's do it properly. Fair. I know actually it was John Redman that came second, so it's worth giving him a shout. He's listed 3rd in the results. And I don't know who came first. I don't think we had any females who did 4 laps.
I've got Sandy Powell did 4 laps. Did Sandy Powell not do 4 laps?
She dropped out at 2.
Oh, right.
What I can see here. I did know.
Would that mean then there is one lady I know did 4 laps without a doubt?
There was we do know Limitless, but there was a Lindsay Knox I've seen has done 4, but she's not in the results. So
right.
Don't know what's happened there, but yes, 5 laps. We had 3 people that did 5 laps.
We're talking like OCR Junior Bezos here. Libby Joyce 5 laps. That's an amazing feat.
As someone that only did 4 and then tapped out. I was only due to do 4, I should add.
Yeah. So are we saying that you got chicked here? I think we're saying here that James got chicked, aren't we? By Libby.
You know, I really hate that phrase. I really, really hate that phrase in our years of equality. But yeah, I just don't like it. Anyway, so Libby got 5. Who else got 5?
Well, I've got down on my list Dave Peters.
Dave Peters, but he was beaten by Craig McQueen.
Yes.
And Craig did do it as well. Craig's from SBF up in Scotland, came down, which is one of the interesting things with that race. It was pretty close for a while, and then Craig took him over, I think, at one point.
I might have spoke to Craig actually. So he's part of Scott Brown's lot.
Correct.
Yeah.
Didn't he come second at ETM? He
may have done. You're testing my thing now.
Sounds familiar. Sounds familiar.
He either won or come second at ETM. I'm pretty certain of it.
Yeah. I'm halfway down a Hazy Jane. I can't tell you at
this stage. James, we'll let you get off because we know you're doing. Is there anything you want to add before you go and me and Ian just wrap up?
I'll just say thank you for everyone that voted for British Obstacle Sports and the British OCR Junior Championships. And thank you, as I said on the night, to both of you for everything you do for the sport and for the event. It was such a fantastic night. And hopefully we'll have it again next year. And if we do have it at the same place, we should do it. We went for a run on the Sunday. There was hills everywhere. It was great.
Yeah, I saw, Alan, you didn't see this. I'm sorry, James, I know you got to go, but there were so many people in running gear at breakfast. And yeah, I just wanted to get in my car and drive off. So they're built differently. They're definitely built like.
Good to listen, James. I like having James on.
I like having James on too, although eventually he'll have to have a real drink.
Yeah, he will. He mentioned something there. You know, while you were talking to him about nuts and you asked him about summer nuts being in September, there's something even worse happened than that this week, Ian.
Yeah, well, we were talking about how Nuts got lucky with the weather, weren't we? And another race didn't quite get lucky.
The mighty Deerstalker, which happens this weekend, has been cancelled.
Well, postponed, cancelled, same thing, maybe.
Yeah, well, it's been postponed. It has been postponed. But this was to me, this is the most funniest part of it all. Let's cancel it because of bad weather this week, yeah? What month shall we put it in? Oh, I know. Let's go in probably the worst month of the year and go December.
Yeah, that's it. Because not only is there a potential chance of bad weather, which, to be fair, given where it is in the country, there's always a chance of bad weather.
Yeah.
It's the same as a Manchester 10K, Manchester Marathon. Yeah, most times it'll be raining. It's the way it is. But not only is the chance, but it's also when, for most people, Deerstalker is going to be a weekend event, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
I remember when I did it, it took the entire weekend. I had to take Friday off work, even though it was an evening event. And in December, people have plans.
Massive plans. The only thing I can think the reason why they're doing it is because that race are that busy and they don't have another weekend.
Yeah, that would make sense. But I do wonder, is anyone going to tell the villagers that it's cancelled and that they should eat raw jelly babies?
Yeah. Oh, that's the best part about it, isn't it? When you're going through and they're all out clapping and giving you jelly babies. I love that when you come through the town.
Yeah, I almost forget I'm in Scotland. I'm kidding, Scottish people. I'm kidding, Scottish people. I haven't been chased out of Scotland with pitchforks yet. I might do now. But no. They really took it to heart. And I feel sorry for them that it's the last one. I know it's the last time Rat Race is doing an event there. If we have any events organisers in Scotland, see if you can put something on because it really helps that village.
Yeah. I think any village like that that's had it for such a long time, it fetches revenue into the village. I know when I went up, we stopped for 2 nights. And yeah, we had a meal in the local pub and drinks in the local pub and the B&B we stopped in. So, and we wasn't the only ones. There's a lot of people doing it, so it does fetch income into that village, doesn't it?
It really does. And I really hope that they tell them that it's happening in December and the village can get behind the one last hurrah. Alan, while we're talking about this and events, one thing that Will Chung brought to my attention a couple of weeks ago was Mad Dog Southport. Have you ever heard of Mad Dog Southport?
I have. This is the one where you get a super duper goodie bag, isn't it? The goodie bag is one that's like, well, it's 10 times worth the race value. And I mean that in the nicest possible way.
It is. I loved our goodie bags that we gave away over the weekend, but they could not hold a candle to what you get at a Mad Dog. It's just, and to be fair, we stole some ideas from Mad Dog, such as having some other prizes that only go to certain people. That was stolen from Mad Dog, and it's notorious for selling out. Usually, it sells out on the same night.
Yeah, you've told me this, yeah.
Yeah, usually it's so hard, and you see the t-shirts all the time. The t-shirts are distinctive. It is usually it'll be a parody of something, because I think there's like been a Jurassic Park one called Jurassic Bark, and there's a lovely script on the back. I think we've got the Star Wars one, but Alan, it's as we're recording this, it is maybe a week as this is being released, a week before the race. It's not sold out.
No way.
It's not sold out. So I'm not sure, is this because people are doing less races, or is it because we've done a rat race and scheduled it on Mother's Day?
That's a valid point, actually. They don't normally have a Mother's Day then.
No, not often.
Yeah, you see that is, you've got to be really careful the dates you choose, haven't you? And not sort of put them on. There's certain days you try and avoid. Mother's Day being one, Valentine's Day would be another. Unless it's a Halloween run, you wouldn't put it on Halloween. Yeah.
But I don't know. We don't know for sure. We can only go off anecdotal thing about numbers being down. But yeah, it's definitely somewhere, and we'll probably cover this as the season goes on, because it's become a bit of a haves and the have-nots, isn't it? In that High Rocks is doing excellent numbers. Yeah. Some OCRs are doing excellent numbers. I believe the race that shan't be named is doing all right for Farmyard.
Yeah, we're on track to the amount we want to hit. We said we were never going to be a race that was going to get hundreds there. It's another. We're still going to be potential proof of concept. So we did it last year as a pilot. This year it's more proof of concept and iron it out ready for next year, because next year is going to be the big one when we're having Overload. And I did mention its name, so I was going to say the race actually mentioned actual OCR on this Saturday, followed by the Ultra. So it's going to be a weekend of running then next year.
That'll be cool. Did I hear, by the way, Rob? I'll give him flowers now. I took the mick out of him earlier on, but we do like Rob and Jamie. But is Rob going to be doing Farmyard Jam?
48 hours.
Oh gosh, good luck, Rob. To be fair, Rob's a good runner. He is a good runner.
He's training for it. He's on point for training for it. Is right on the money at this moment in time. Is out every day, running minimum of 10 miles virtually every day, with long runs at the weekend. He is running phenomenal at this moment in time.
No, fantastic. And because of where it is, the mountain rescue can't get anywhere near him.
That's another reason why he's going. You just touched on numbers there being down, Ian. Our listener numbers are actually up.
You're listening to the 74th most popular podcast for people who order from the European section of a Chinese takeaway menu.
Woohoo!
You know how I know this?
How?
Because I know we've now got 13 listeners.
So we've got at least 13 listeners. How do you know this?
Because we've got 13 Patreons.
Oh, cracking. Fantastic. Do you have a list, or?
I have a list. I'm going through them all. I said we'd give them 8 shout-outs every month.
Yeah.
Will Chung, thank you very much. Our longest serving patron. Michelle Carney, Sophia Harnaday, Matthew Kirk, Martin Gemmell, Paul Ellis, Richard Willis, Gordon Cameron, Charlotte Malone, Daniel Weston, Ben Griffin, Brian Keys, and our latest one, Wendy Brothers.
Wow. Fantastic. Thank you, Wendy.
Yeah. So if you want to be part of these shout-outs, it costs you £2 a month. You'll see the link in our description of the podcast. I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to push it anymore.
No, and I will push one more thing. If you go the super duper duper level, which, Alan, is it £6 maybe?
There's a £4 and a £6 level.
Yeah, if you do super duper duper, you get your British Obstacle Sports membership paid for you, so it doesn't cost you as much anyway.
You're listening to the 53rd most popular podcast for people who still own a working Nokia 3310.
Anyway, Alan, let's move on. I think this is our last topic, actually. Tough Mudder Finsbury Park.
Adding, making it better. Well, making it better, making it worse. Depends how you look at this, don't it? They're going to add more wires to electroshock therapy. Yeah. So there's no more dodging it. There's no more sneaking between them. That'll upset me. It'll also upset Will because we like to dodge them. Lowering the height of Kiss of Mud. I don't know how much lower they can get because I ripped my shorts on Kiss of Mud last time on the barbed wire. So how much lower can they go? That's
I'm not sure really, and so they're lowering one, but they're heightening another bit.
Yes, I love this part. So if you have been to Tough Mudder recently, you have noticed that on Everest there's been certain sections. So they've had 3 heights at some of them. So they've had one which you just run up and it's, there's a little ledge you can just grab onto. There's the second one, which was a little bit higher. But then the ultimate one is the one where you have to run and there isn't a ledge at the top. You actually have to jump over it to catch the leg at the far end. And this is what it used to always be originally when I used to do it. So to me, it is going back to its original roots. It's a lot harder. What it's going to mean, Ian, or what I think it's going to mean, it's going to bring back the Legionnaires helping, as in big groups helping each other get up there.
Yeah, so at World's Toughest, we had the men of Mudderhorn. We're going to have people up in Everest hauling people up. Without
a doubt, because it is so hard to get up there and get your arm onto that far section. As when we did Manchester, I don't remember when we were over at Manchester and we did the one at Eaton Park. The first attempt, I failed it. That section. It took me 2 attempts to get there, and I've nearly always hit it Everest every time. I can't remember the last time I actually failed it. But I misjudged it. I misjudged the leap, and a lot of people were doing it.
Oddly, I can remember the last time I failed Everest. When was our last race?
Manchester.
and our second to last time. When was the race before that? But what I will say is, of all of those, Alan, you just mentioned you're not looking forward to the hump being back at Everest. You are, but you're kind of not.
Yeah.
I am not looking forward to this lowering Kiss of Mud because I am very much a roller when it comes to Kiss of Mud. And if they're lowering it, it's going to be commando crawl only, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. I just hope when they lower it, they take it. The thing that I always get with Tough Mudder is there tends to be a lot of rocks. If you're going late in the day on Kiss of Mud, there's a lot of rocks. And that's the only part I don't like about Kiss of Mud.
Yeah, it's odd because for the most part, Tough Mudder it's a fun race. Yeah, is it the toughest race out there? Sorry, guys, you're not. We talked about nuts earlier, and there's other races, but they tend to keep you relatively safe during it. It's the safest tough run you can have.
Yeah.
But for some strange reason, they become maniacs whenever they're planting Kiss of Mud. It's truly bizarre. All the other obstacles, they'll put, nice areas where it's okay. Kiss of Mud. Oh, well, we've got this lush ground here. Oh, right. Here's something that people can literally climb up. Let's put it on that.
Yeah, that's it is. Yeah. Ian, we've gone over the hour again. We're making a habit of this.
We do. I'm not quite sure what I've got on the podcast next week. We'll have to find out when it's released. I know this week we released some Deca Cliveros or some athlete interviews, so listen to that. Alan, do you have any idea who you've got on Monday?
Yes, I do. I've got Who's Ott, Will, Becky, and the new host, Chris Shipley, are doing a season preview.
Oh, and wasn't it filmed at a special location?
It was actually done at Reigate Manor, yes. On the Sunday, I don't know how tips they were. I have got it somewhere. It has been sent to me, but I haven't listened to it yet. So.
Well, we believe we've got Who's Hot, but if it's completely inaudible, it might be the best of this podcast. So, again, the best 5 minutes you'll ever listen to.
It will. The best 5 minutes.
So,
at
Alan,
speed 1.5.
I will say, again, James said this, on behalf of everyone, thank you for last Saturday. People kept coming up to me and thanking me, and I felt like such a fraud because I know that as much as you'll deny it, a lot of Saturday was you. You did a lot of it. You took it on your back. You saw how busy everyone else was with their lives. So, Alan, Thank you for Saturday. Please let people help you next year so that you don't lose your hair like I have. Yeah. But thank you so much. And I'm just going to say it's good night from me, and I'll leave you the floor.
Thank you, Ian. I don't know what to say. Yeah, I did take a lot on, but it is a team effort. Everything we do is a team effort. I'm not going to dwell on it. Thank you to everyone for rocking up. Much appreciated. Fill in that feedback form. There's a section on there. If you want to help out next year, you can help us out next year. We are reaching out to people to not take work off us, but we want to be involved in it. We want to be involved in something special that is going to be happening. So thank you again. Thank you to all our listeners. It's a pleasure having to talk to you all. I love you. Bye.